Hey, all, I am back in Chicago this week and I have something special in my garage. This right here is the Mercedes-AMG C63S E Performance. And yep, it's a plug-in hybrid, but this is not a plug-in hybrid like you would expect. It is not about the all-electric range, though there is a little bit. It is more about the performance. So this is going to be a tech check review, and I really feel that this is a part of the technology. So I'm not really going to dig too far into the weeds of how it drives on a racetrack, because by the way, I don't have access to a racetrack this week. Instead, I'm going to talk a little bit about the technology behind what this plug is doing, the power, and then we're going to jump inside and we're going to talk about the interior technology. It's a gloomy day in Chicago, so yeah, there's not going to be a lot of driving, and there certainly isn't going to be a burnout. And nope, we're not going to do a 0 to 63 in 3.3 seconds. Sorry, there are other places that are doing that. But let's take a closer look at the technology on this Mercedes AMG C63 E, no, S, E Performance. Yeah, we're just going to call it the C63. Let's take a look at this week's car du jour, the C63, right now. All right, so we're just going to dive right into the engine here because this is a 2.0 liter 4-cylinder engine. And before you're like, meh, it's not a V8, I have a whole bunch of go away for you because I've been getting a lot of hate recently about the demise of the V8 engine. And, you know, I like power. And if you like power, you are going to love this engine because this engine itself, which by the way is handcrafted and signed by Maximilian Berger right on this plate, this engine, just this engine alone, produces 469 horsepower, which is more than a lot of V8 engines, including a certain Hemi V8, produce. That is amazing. But when you add in the permanently excited synchronous electric motor, yeah, total output for this vehicle is 671 horsepower. This is a 4-cylinder engine that with an electric motor produces 671 horsepower. I think that is flipping amazing. So I like to go fast, and this does that. And I think that the technological feat combined to do that is pretty amazing. Now, this does have a battery that is constantly discharging 94 horsepower as well. So you have all of these technical parts working together to create just a phenomenal output. And I drove to and from Indianapolis and we'll just say I drove fast and had a lot of fun weaving in and out of traffic. And this is just so smooth and so seamless. I can't even tell you how amazing this is on a road. Now, I know a lot of people are like, but it has track this and track that and performance this. Okay, 99% of the people are never going to take this on a track. Let's be honest. People are using this for this commute. People are using this for road trips. People are driving this car. And to drive, this is amazing. Full stop. So a lot of cool stuff going on right here. And again, not going to do the burnouts, the track stuff. There's other places. But I just wanted to tell you and show you how cool this is. All right, before we go in and talk about the technology, there is one more thing that I wanted to mention on this C63. And that is going to be the fact that because this is an electric-ish vehicle, electrified, and it has some all-electric range, it does have the AVAS, so acoustic vehicle alerting sound system on the exterior of the vehicle. But even that is kind of technologically cool because it was tuned by AMG. So, you know what? I'm going to take off my microphone. I'm going to clip it out here, and we're going to see if we can just capture a little bit of that sound. All right, I don't know if you can hear any of that, but I'm gonna unclip this, and we're gonna. I don't know if you can hear that, but sounds kind of cool to me. Before I leave my garage, I figured I would just start a little bit with the lighting because you do have some good lighting, some, a nice puddle lamp. And on the interior, you do have some ambient lighting going on. So I just figured it's worth a quick look to check it out. So, yep, you also have wireless Apple CarPlay, but that really isn't what I'm interested in at just this moment. So, let's see. We want to go into, I think, settings, light, ambient light, manage the settings, and it looks like you have about 22 different colors that you can select. And as you can see right now, we have kind of a yellow going on, and this little animation shows you exactly where the lighting appears. So if you follow me, if you've seen anything I've ever done before, you know I tend to be a little bit more of a pink person myself. So, and by the way, that shows up a little bit better. So we're gonna switch it to pink so that you can see what that looks like. You have it kind of circling around, the driver cluster area, and on the center console. It comes on the dash, and it even comes over here, and you'll notice that this changed colors with the change in ambient lighting. So in case you didn't notice that, so I changed it back to like more of a grayish yellow. You've got some green going on, but as you change the color on the ambient lighting, this also changes. So that's kind of cool. And I know, and you can even do a multicolor. So they do have some standard multicolor options that you can select. So let's see what Miami Rose looks like. So you do have some options there. The other thing that you can do is you can change the brightness. I know a lot of people think that the bright, like it can be too bright. So you can really bump it up, you can take it down, and as you see, like you have some customizability in terms of how much light you want to show, because some people are very sensitive to light, especially when you're driving at night. So I appreciate that. And I will point out, because I am in a closed garage, somebody's going to mention carbon monoxide, the engine is off right now, okay? So we're in EV mode. There's no problem here. In terms of effects, you can have it also like activate and do things when you are adjusting your climate controls. So you see how the lights change here when I'm adjusting the climate. So you have some different things that can happen when you are playing around with your ambient lighting, and you can adjust it to your personal taste. So I don't know, I think that's kind of cool. I enjoy ambient lighting, especially when you can customize it and you can make it more what you want. And yeah, I'm going back to the pink. Let's see. There we go. Pink. I like that. All right, let's get out of my garage and let's check out this where it's at least a little bit brighter. All right, as we are pulling out of my garage, I figure it's worthwhile to talk a little bit about the camera. So, when you put it into reverse, obviously your camera pops on, and I feel like this is a really good representation of a camera in terms of having your around view monitor here. The car fills out the space, but then you still have the backup monitor here. And when you tap it in to drive, it has a little bit of a delay, so it shows you out the front and around the side still. So I like the camera views. I think this is really high def, and it did well both in the dark and in the light, so I appreciate that. A lot of times, like when you pull into a dark space, the cameras get a little bit fuzzy and unclear, but this is a pretty good camera. So you can change the views And I like the fact that you can, ooh, that's kind of fun, where you can, ooh, circle around, and it gives you just a really good view with this AI vehicle here of, you know, what is surrounding. And as you can see, I definitely am going to have to, you know, pull and to the right to steer around, you know, the chairs we have stored there. So I don't know, I think this is really cool. I think this is a very nice, clear representation, and I like the fact that you can change the views, and you even have, like, in addition to the dynamic lines that show, you know, where the wheels are turning on both views, you have this representation here that circles the vehicle that shows you how close you are to the various obstacles surrounding the vehicle. So I really like the camera. So we are just gonna go ahead and pop it into drive and pull out. And the camera will stay on up to about 11 miles per hour. So that's, I think, really good. I always get annoyed when there are reverse cameras where you put it into reverse, but as soon as you put it into drive, the front camera goes away. So I'm particularly appreciative of the fact that there is a little bit of delay once you put the camera into drive. While we were driving around, it looks like this has a park assist feature, which I haven't tested yet, so I'm going to take you on a journey with me before we get into looking at everything else that's going on, and we're just going to try and park the vehicle. So I hit the camera button. It says check the surroundings, so I'm going to go for parking assistance, and it says drive forward to look for parking spaces. Now there's a very large one right here. So I'm just going to drive forward. It found the spot. So I'm going to go ahead and it says park to start parking procedure. Okay. So put it into reverse. It turned on my blinker. It's controlling the steering wheel, it's controlling the speed modulation. It's going really slow, which I guess I'm okay with. I'm hovering over the brake. Okay. Now it even pulled me forward a little bit to help center me in the space a little bit better. And then it turned off the parking assist. It put it into park. So that actually is a really good system. I've tested some backup systems recently, or some parking systems that are really glitchy, and they you know, you press the button and it doesn't find the spot, or it finds the spot and it wants you to pack you vertically into the spot rather than parallel park you. So this system actually did really well. This is very intuitive, very easy to use. You just hit this and then you know, hit the parking assistance, and it will get you out of your spot. So start unparking procedure, shift to reverse. Okay, turned on my blinker. Woo, back me up. Okay, and so then it puts me at an angle. Oh, still going. Okay, this is really slow. Okay, but it puts me at the angle to be able to get me out of the spot. And it, you know, as soon as I start driving again, it turns off my blinker. This is a really good system. This is a very intuitive and easy to use system. I like that one a lot. I will say I've been in some vehicles that they just make it so difficult and glitchy. It doesn't work this well. This is a good park system. I will contend that I think I parallel park better than the vehicle, but for people who learned how to parallel park when they were, 15, 16 and haven't ever parallel parked again, I think that a feature like this is really helpful. And especially like if you're in a space where you're not familiar and the area is a little bit tight, let the car do the work. It's going to take some time. You may get some honks and beeps, but you're not going to damage the car and you're not going to damage the cars around you. So I don't know. This system is good. Now I just want to take a look at, just generally what is going on around me. All right, from this view, there is actually just a lot going on. So I'm just going to walk you through some of what we are seeing right here. And you know what? We're just going to start with the behind the wheel cluster, because you do have the ability to customize that a little bit. And you hit the home button, and then you have some things that pop up behind here. And as you scroll through, you can select like the view that you wanted. And I had it on understated, but classic is also really nice. If you were going to do more tracky, sporty things, you do also have like the super sport, or the AMG sport mode. And so you do have a couple of options here in terms of what you may want to look at. I preferred the understated, but again, the classic is kind of nice in terms of, giving your speedometer and your tachometer and all of the things that you need, kind of readily available, just at the center, in terms of, the temperature gauges, your map, your um, media playing, attention assist, all of those things, your consumption display. So I don't know. I Personal preference, however you want to set it up. You can set it up for your mood. If you're feeling a little sassy, you could move it over into sport mode. If you want to feel a little bit more calm and don't really need to look at all of your gauges, you can go into more of the understated. So I just The point is, you have options, and I like the fact. I hate it when you have a digital display and essentially all you can change is what is between this cluster right here. That annoys me. So, as we were going through, like this right here works these gauges and those things right here. So you hit the home button and that's what pops up your screen. And then if you wanted to change what you were seeing, you have the option to do that, especially in classic. You can change what you're seeing by just kind of scrolling up through here. Now, what I find really interesting is, okay, so this is kind of like a touch space. This is not like you don't really have to press, you just rub your finger over that. This over on this side here, that adjusts this right here. And I think that's really clever. For people who are OCD and don't ever want to have to touch the screen, you don't have to. And they've taken like the little touch control area away from here. And you can just very easily, like as you're driving, you can just like scroll through things with your thumb. And that I don't know. At first, I thought it was a little bit weird, but the more I'm driving Mercedes vehicles, the more I really like the ability to control your screen just with your thumb while you're driving. But then again, you always have your option to use the touch screen, and I appreciate that as well. Now, I do want to focus a little bit on this before we go back to the steering wheel and talk about the Apple CarPlay, because people have this mistaken notion that Apple CarPlay can only appear one way on a screen. And I think this right here proves no, you can actually change the way Apple CarPlay looks to adapt to the screen that it is on. So we have seen horizontal applications, so you only get the 2 rows of app icons. We have seen the vertical application where it kind of gives you like the 3 icons or the 4 icons going vertical, and you'll have another couple of rows below here. But this is more of a square application. And I feel like it is really well done. It fills out the screen very well, and it is attractively proportioned. And I like the fact that you have your easy access to, your home screen, but then you can very easily again get back into Apple CarPlay through this button right there. So I think the integration for this system is really well done. and you don't have to futz with a lot of like a Mercedes-Benz app on the screen to get back to your home screen. You've got your home button there, and you've got some different icons down here that will also take you immediately to your vehicle settings. And so and your climate menu, and I appreciate that. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about the climate situation. This is through your screen, but I will say I do appreciate the fact that I like that you have big icons, big options. So as you are driving, and you're keeping your eyes looking forward, you can very easily like come over here and hit these icons and make a selection, or increase your temperature. I guess you can't. You have to do the tap. Um, by oh, that was interesting. So like if you press and hold, it goes to low. If you press and hold, it goes to high. um so I like the fact that you can easily look over and adjust those things. And you do have the dual automatic climate controls, so if I were driving with my husband, it would probably look more like that. And because you don't have a pass-through area here, his space will stay cool while my space will actually be warm. So I don't know. I know a lot of people don't like having climate controls in the screens. This doesn't suck. Yeah, big icons. Now let's come back to the steering wheel. So you do have your adaptive cruise control settings over here, and again, it's more of the like you do have a little bit of a touch to set and to turn things on, but then you can like increase your speed by scrolling up. You can cancel it, resume, and those controls are all right here. And again, it's a very easy like maneuver from putting your thumb down here. And I thought the system worked really well, and it was very natural, and it drove the way that I would drive. Now, in terms of these things that are going on, this is the ability to change um, like some of your settings. So you've got your sport handling mode on, and that turns it off. It's just like an easy access in terms of turning some of your features on and off. And then this right here, if you turn the dial, it puts it in electric mode. You've got battery hold mode. Woo! Race mode. I don't know if you just heard the engine switch on. And then you've got slippery. So, I mean, it's not quite slippery conditions today, but good to know. And this is really cool. Okay, so then again, and you can just do it all through turning the dial. Comfort, and I will say I spent most of my time in comfort because I was driving on a highway, and I didn't want to feel a lot of the bumps and grooves. So you can also go in. So like if you select your Sport Plus mode, like you can go in then and you can adjust things individually in here and really get this customized. And I mean, frankly, that's what this is for, to really customize how you want to drive the vehicle. And as I said, I spent most of my time in comfort. So again, you can adjust all of this through the screen. You can go through the modes here. When I was driving in the city, I did operate in electric only mode, and as you can see, the range is not good. I would say it maxes out electrically at about like 6 or 7 miles. Yeah, that's about it. So not meant to be electrically driven. I could get to and from the gym, and that was about it. And then I would have to plug in. But I like the fact that you have all of these controls and things right here. But then for more adjustment, you can go into the screen and you can switch through to make things more what you want. So again, in case you missed it, this right here was the sound, and that's electric sound. I don't know if you can hear it, but that's like a little electric purr. So back to the AVAS system we were talking about. That's the electric purr. All right, so what else do we want to talk about? We've talked about the ambient lighting, the climate controls, the driver controls. We've talked about the parking system. We'll come over here a little bit and look at this. So your seats are on the door. Your seat adjustments are on the door. They are not down here. I mean, you do have lumbar support down here, but everything else is going to be here. Your heated seats, your cooled seats, and your memory are also located on the door. Now, a couple of practical things I want to go over. If you aren't familiar with Mercedes-Benz, you do have your wipers on this stalk here. So you turn on your blinker stalk essentially to get your wipers to work. And you have like turning them off, you have like intermittent, rain sensing. And then if you wanted to clean your windshield, you just press the button on the end and you've got some spray that comes up. So your windshield wipers are there, your headlights are here, and this is your gear shift. And so you do have to put your foot on the brake, and then you just switch it up or down, and then you hit the button on the end to put it in park. So you don't have to push it forward or backwards to get the gear shift to operate. It's simply just an up or down motion. And then to get it into neutral, it's just kind of a half tap to get it into neutral. So if you have to take it to a car wash or something. So, and then, all right, let's do some quick driving impressions before we wrap this up. All right, as I mentioned at the beginning, I did not have access to a racetrack this week. So I've been doing city driving over speed bumps, over potholes. I took a road trip to Indianapolis to visit my mom, and I really enjoyed this vehicle. It is smooth, fast, and fun. And one of the things that the electric motor does is it enables the turbocharged engine to have no lag, like no lag whatsoever. So this is just fast, fun, and there are no words. And it's comfortable. And it, like these seats, 6 hours in these seats, super comfortable. So I have no complaints about how this vehicle drives, how it operates. I have no complaints about just anything, except for the fact that maybe the suspension is just a little bit stiff, even in comfort mode. So if you are doing a lot of city driving, just be prepared for that. Now, I really like how quiet this is when you're driving in electric mode, but if you are sick of the quiet, you can just very easily tap it into sport mode, and you hear that rumble of the AMG hand-built engine, and that's kind of fun too. If I had to summarize the Mercedes-AMG C63S E Performance, again, mouthful, I would say this is a fun, functional performance vehicle, but it's going to cost you. But it's fun. All right, that is what I have for you today on the tech check for the Mercedes-AMG C63S E Performance. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time with a new car du jour, and maybe a few less speed bumps.